So this video is about verifying what I've said in the other video I've yet to upload that I made in the dress shirt, the Rockefeller dress shirt. So let me start off with this. I'm sure Big Brother, knows very well that I made a video about this and I uploaded it on my Facebook and not on this one. So basically, it's titled From PSYOP to Mind War, The Psychology of Victory by Colonel Paul E. Valley, Commander, with Major Michael A. Aquino, PSYOP Research and Analysis Team Leader. So he was the team leader. He's a major at this point. Also at the bottom says Headquarters, 7th Psychological Operations Group, United States Army Reserve, Presidio of San Francisco, California, 1980. Okay, I don't think I have to explain to you how ideas evolve and are developed and cultivated deliberately over time, not accidentally. So I'll give you page 5. Psychological warfare is the coordination and use of all means, including moral and physical, by which the end is attained, other than those of recognized military operations, but including the psychological exploitation of the result of those recognized military actions which tend to destroy the will of the enemy to achieve victory and to damage his political or economic capacity to do so, which tend to deprive the enemy of the support, assistance, or sympathy of his allies or associates or of neutrals, or to prevent his acquisition of such support, assistance, or sympathy, or which tend to create, maintain, or increase the will to victory of our own people and allies, and to acquire, maintain, or to increase the support, assistance, and sympathy of neutrals. Mind war is the deliberate, aggressive convincing of all participants in a war that we will win the war. I have countless proofs. I didn't print out them all, but they're not. These are the most damning that I'm going to present to you after this document. And I have, countless proofs of people saying things like, you're just some guy talking mess on YouTube, and our government's the most powerful in the world, on and on, bombarding me with these messages deliberately, overtly, to try to crush my will. So, and by sabotaging my life and doing things that cost me money, in very subtle ways, they have made my life hard. But in this video, I'm going to stick to the facts, okay? The facts that nobody can deny. In this, I'm going to present you, and I'm going to show you each time before I present to you these. We'll call this one Exhibit B, and this one Exhibit A. In Exhibit B, I have blotted out the last 7 digits of the number to show you that this is not my phone, that, it's somebody who lives in Southern California, or at least has a phone number from there. It says, okay, so why no nude then? They say, take down all your videos and I will. And I said, where does this come from? That wasn't the deal. You are done. I have what you don't want to get out. They believed that they had a compromising picture of me. I faked it. I outsmarted these people. It's funny how they want to convince me that I couldn't possibly win, but I've outsmarted them on pretty much every turn. I say, but we had a deal. It says, take it down or I'll post your dick everywhere. So you lied about everything. You don't get it. I'm out to destroy you. Especially take note of the bottom half of Exhibit B. That's what I'll refer to this one as. So in the comments you can say, well, you don't have to give me a timestamp. You can just refer to which exhibit you're talking about as well. There's different ways to reference it. So I give you Exhibit C. These are all screenshots from my phone, some from text messages, and these ones from Facebook. This is, what are the odds of that versus the odds of you helping secret societies and fags cyberstalk me? Somebody gave me a thumbs up. See my profile for it and scroll down on the posts, but don't be another worthless troll. Then he says, we work together, all of us. I say, why me? You know why. Who chose me as a target? Why do you mention us in your comments on CNN's videos? Give another look at Exhibit C. And I'll bring you Exhibit D, relating to the same subject. It says, continuing from why do you mention us in the comments on your CNN videos? Remember, this was posted around July, and they're referring to January 22nd. Do you remember what you said about us on an Obama piece that CNN did on January 22nd at 8:32 a.m.? Okay. How many of you remember posts on a random video, you know, going back that far? Plus, you know, I had not linked to my Facebook at this point. Linking to my Facebook is something I've done recently. Okay. And remember, you know, I have no intention of pressing this on further. I'm just making it absolutely clear to the opposition that it is in both of our best interests for me to change tactics, for me to live my life and to be in love, and to, you know, I have more damning evidence than this, and I have it in a safe place. This is stuff that I've presented. People have downloaded from, you know, the videos. It's not my best stuff, but it's good enough to show you that these people not only have stalked me, and that's the only way they could know these things and keep track of these things. You know, why did this guy know this? You know, why did he wait all these months later? He waited like, what, 6 months later, you know, from January to July, you know, and he found my Facebook account on his own, which is very hard. There was nothing that connects my Facebook to my YouTube channel unless you've been hacking or following me or doing some Big Brother type of stuff. He says, I believe you said all white people. I say, so the world knows I'm the good guy and you are selfish, hypocritical, ungodly scum. Refresh my memory. So I believe you said all white people should be hanging from trees. So why do you associate with white people on the internet? I said the group harassment goes back years though. Now regardless of what I said, you know, obviously I read some of the news. I was mad. There was a lot of racist white people in the comments, and I responded accordingly. You know, wasn't my best moment. I probably did say that. You know, I'm not perfect. I'm not a racist. I'm half white, half black, and obviously that's not what I believe. And obviously this has much more to do. This is much more. It's about much more than that. Okay. Especially remember I bring you. Was it Exhibit C? I called it. You know, close to the bottom. Well, about halfway, I say no. Well, you know, a little bit above halfway. He says, "Why work for?" He says, "We work together, all of us." I say, "Why me?" He says, "You know why." Okay. These people not only have shown that they're stalking me, but they're saying, "You know what this is really about," and you know he didn't. He after he said that, right? He then goes on to say, because that's an Exhibit C, which comes from before Exhibit D. Because Exhibit D starts off where I end, you know, the last message I end on Exhibit C, and so you can see it's a continuance, right, of that conversation. And what you see is that he then gives a superficial reason to make it seem like it's something else. But he said, you know why, and after admitting that they all work together. So even if you take it as, oh, well, you know, even if you take it as, well, you know, he lied to say that. Regardless, you're forced to the conclusion this has nothing to do with schizoaffective or schizophrenia. This is group stalking and people, you know, asserting things and suggesting things and outright saying things to lead me to certain conclusions. So when I then say, well, all the evidence seems to support a concerted effort, you know, this person from Exhibit B found me from, I believe, I forgot what website it was, but this is a friend of someone from another website, from a website. And as a group of friends, they've been messing with me. And I could easily verify that with one of their friends. Easily. I could easily get a conversation about that. It's no problem at all. You know, I have emails and text messages that confirm this, that they admitted to. So there's different groups there, you know, there is a grand conspiracy against me, and all the evidence has shown that. Okay, so now let's talk about why do I wear things such as this? Why do I have these things in the background? Well, I make political videos. That's why they're doing this in the first place. And the things that I've claimed, I've put my money where my mouth is. There's tens of thousands of dollars, as much as perhaps $100,000 in different challenges to prove me wrong. They have failed to do so. Okay, it is my culture, you know, talking about socially normative. This is the cover of a book by T.J. Dush-Obi, who has a doctorate from the University of California, Los Angeles, I believe, in African history. The history of African martial arts traditions in the Atlantic world. Okay. Now this is from page 11. I have two of the same one. One is bigger, in case you have trouble seeing it. Well, it goes on to talk about the different types of fighting in the last paragraph. Mastery in either art could bring a skilled practitioner respect for his graceful execution, the admiration of potential wives, and economic advancement. Each art provided a path of spiritual development that could take an exceptional adept to one of the highest forms of honor in Africa, the status of a transcendent hero. Someone who was initiated into full mastery of Angola could, well, that, you know, I cut off there, but basically, I say that I'm a transcendent hero. It is culturally normative to believe when you've achieved a certain mastery that you are a transcendent hero. You have developed your martial arts physically and spiritually. You have achieved the rank of a transcendent hero. And for women, you know, to gain the admiration of potential wives, to be admired by women is part of the culture. So the things that I'm upset about has to do with a clash of culture, okay? What is socially normative in one culture, in the counterculture, in a subculture, perhaps may be contrary to what is socially normative in mainstream culture. And to drug people based on mainstream culture, well, my friends, that is the very definition of oppression. So, this is basically the same. I forgot to label it an exhibit, I apologize. But, you know, just refer to it as the last two or three pictures that weren't referred to as exhibits. And for those of you who don't know, I've done extensive, this is all documented secret societies, the Round Table Group. For example, I'll just read the first couple sentences of the first page. The Round Table Group was founded in 1972 by John Harper, the head of ALCOA Aluminum, and Fred Bork, CEO of General Electric, who was concerned about growing public hostility toward corporations as evidenced by support for government regulation of the workplace environment and about the power of unions to squeeze corporate products in an increasingly competitive international market. So documented, you know, Trilateral Commission, Roundtable Group, this is all documented stuff, okay? Things that I talk about are factual. There's no paranoid schizophrenia. I have over 10,000 valid sources, 3,300 videos, and I've been doing this on YouTube alone, making videos for 6 years, and on Facebook for the last several months at least, because I shifted my videos over there. If you, I go over this more thoroughly. I believe I read the whole thing in a series on my Facebook channel. If you're interested, leave me a comment. I can direct you there. So, the whole purpose of this video wasn't necessarily to show you that I'm right about Transcendent Hero and the significance of my martial art challenge, you know, and to show you, you know, why it's impossible for them to try to, you know, strike a blow at my pride or, you know, belittle me or, you know, from my perspective, which is the African perspective, and we're all African, so if there's one universal perspective, it certainly must be a historical, traditional African perspective, not one random country's mainstream cultural perspective. So, when you consider that, taking that into consideration, you know, who should conform to who, what is more logical and honorable, and who is fighting spiritually and in the past physically for honor, and who is fighting for greed? Who's a man of principle and who isn't? Who's in the right and who's in the wrong? Who is the delusional person? The person presenting you all these facts with over 10,000 valid sources? Or some random investigator saying, oh, this guy's crazy. Some random shrink who questions this guy for, you know, questions someone like me for 5 minutes and says, oh, he must be nuts. 10,000 plus valid sources and references versus 5 minutes of a, you know, 10-question interview, you know. Whose side, you know, are the facts really on? What does logic really tell you? Who's being very reasonable, very concise, very informative, very insightful, and who's being completely unreasonable, oppressive, unlawful, and unjust? Thank you.